om Kosovaren gaat, zegt Jan Terlouw. Vorig jaar probeerde hij gemeenten zover te krijgen opvangplaatsen beschikbaar te stellen. Maar die lieten het toen afweten.
Enigszins begrijpelijk.
Maar dan alleen uit Kosovo. Het aanbod is afgewezen.
We zien zo verschrikkelijk veel ellende dat het eerste gevoel is van mensen, hier moet je inspringen. Wat er ook gebeurt, hier moeten we wel klaar voor staan. En het is dan een beetje schrijnend als je merkt dat dit nu zo snel kan gaan en andere vluchtelingen toch wat aarzelender worden opgevangen.
Morgen praat het kabinet over een voorstel van premier Kok om nog eens 1000 tot 2000 Kosovaren op te nemen.
En tot zover onze berichten.
Just remember how in the first days the meal service was sheer hell. Many of the refugees were afraid they'd get pushed to the end of the line and come out empty-handed. But since then, word has got around the mess always cooks plenty for everybody and the problem's taken care of itself. These experiences have had their effect on the troops. After 3 weeks of hard work, they're almost burned out. The selection at the post exchange can hold its own with any general store in Germany, but the staff sergeant in charge of it is modest.
We're standing here in the smaller exchange container. Of course, it's not stocked for the number of soldiers we have here. That's over 1,700 men. It was actually intended for 400 men, but we managed pretty well with it.
One thing there's no shortage of is demand. The merchandise is tax-free, so prices are lower than rock bottom. A carton of cigarettes costs from $4 to $6. Fine perfumes and colognes are to be had for peanuts.
There are a lot of toys. There's perfume. There are the daily necessities a soldier needs to brush his teeth, wash up. We've got everything. We carry electronics and a large range of things for the soldiers here that have been very well received.
It used to be that packages were sent from home to the front. Now they go in the other direction. These soldiers are sending a few presents to their families.
Perfume, cigarettes, and alcohol. All that's much cheaper here. We got T-shirts and cameras are much cheaper. Everything you can buy here is.
The military post office has more than enough to do, just dealing with the volume of presents for the families back home.
286 packages. That's 93 to 96 parcels an hour.
But it's not just packages, as we see here. The soldiers also like to write home as often as they can.
Monday is, of course, always a busy day. Today there were 1,600 letters. On an average day, there are 1,100 letters, postcards, sometimes even larger letters.
Meanwhile, the refugees use every means of communication available to track down lost family members and relatives. They could be scattered to all the ends of the earth by now. That is, if they're still alive. People crowd around anyone who has a cell phone. They say this one was donated by a wealthy Albanian. They try to send news of their whereabouts in all directions by satellite. They post search notices on a bulletin board, hoping against hope that a happy coincidence will bring people back together. Sometimes it works. These two students were chased out of Pristina by Serbian paramilitaries and lost contact. Now they can hardly believe they found each other again. The Neproshtino camp is to be handed over to an aid organization. The German soldiers prepare to move out. To this sergeant, it means the end of 3 weeks of hard work, helping people he'll never forget. Soon, he'll be leaving them behind. Is a mission to Kosovo itself next on the agenda? He doesn't want to think about that just yet.
It might happen sometime, but we're not worrying about it right now. There's no use making ourselves crazy. We have our job to do here, and we're trying to do it the best we possibly can by helping the refugees. You can see the results, especially when new arrivals pass by. They laugh and wave. We were back at the school just a while ago. They were happy to get some school books and have the classrooms set up. That's our contribution, what little bit we can do. And we try to carry out the mission as well as possible. There's nothing more we can do anyway.
That little bit has saved the lives of countless ethnic Albanians driven out of Kosovo. And their gratitude is the reward for all the effort.
If it hadn't been for the German army here, everybody would have died. In the name of these people, I send warm greetings to Germany and the German Parliament.
This teacher from Kosovo expresses his personal thanks, among other things for the playground the soldiers set up. He fled here with his 6 young children. Now the soldiers are putting up watchtowers to help secure the barracks. The troops themselves can't help thinking about a possible peacekeeping mission in Kosovo.
The way things are with us now, at least the way they are with me, is that we don't really know what our mission is supposed to be. Initially, it was more in the direction of monitoring. Then it was more humanitarian. Now we're just waiting until they call for us. A few units have gone off to help set up tents. I'd say we'll be helping out there pretty soon as well.
But all the while, conditions in Kosovo are not getting any better. In fact, they're deteriorating.
It's a sinking feeling. We're still hoping there'll be a more peaceful solution. If anyone here says he's not afraid, I don't think he's telling the truth. I think almost everyone here is afraid. I think a little fear is just a part of it. There's no job without fear. It's the only way you can keep from making mistakes.
The longer NATO continues its airstrikes with no sign of its demands being met, the more the soldiers talk about being sent to Kosovo as combat troops against the Serbs. When they do so, their voices become thoughtful and subdued.
At the moment, we have just over a third of the contingent that was planned for Kosovo. The staff for the task forces is here, we have a rifle battalion here, and we have support groups here. The other soldiers who've been selected to take part in the mission to Kosovo, should a peace agreement be reached, are on 96-hour standby in Germany. All the material supplies are already in Greece and will, in all probability, soon be moved up to Macedonia.
Partly you repress it, and partly you have your own private thoughts on it that go through your mind at night when you're alone. But at the moment, we have very clear instructions from our political leadership to implement and secure a peace agreement under the conditions they've set out. That's what I'm anticipating for the time being, and I'm not wasting time thinking about what might happen in this or that case. There are all sorts of possibilities for what might happen. You could probably brood on them forever. Ground troops in Kosovo? That'd be something. Do I feel a bit nervous? A little bit, yeah. We don't know what's going on up there. I think it might be like the first days of IFOR in Bosnia, when the troops were shot at or attacked by all kinds of people. That's not so great. Am I somewhat nervous? Yes, somewhat.
On this day, the situation seems to be calmer in Macedonia, or at least in Tetovo. For the first time in 3 weeks, the soldiers are allowed to leave the camp. They've earned a bit of rest and recreation. The people on the street are friendly. It no longer seems necessary to carry arms at all times. The danger of an ambush appears small. Starting this evening, the soldiers can go out on the town in civvies, but they have to stay in groups. To this barber from Tetovo, the barracks means good business, with 1,700 heads and only one basic hairstyle. For many of the soldiers, this is their first glimpse of their host country.
I haven't been out and about here in Tetovo yet, except to buy something for my tent. But of course, the soldiers who have more free time can go off base and move around in civvies. It's a different feeling from being in the camp.
Is it a relief?
Yes, it's definitely a relief, because when we have leave, it means the situation is stable enough to allow it.
German customers are very welcome at the local Albanian pizzeria. One soldier looks back on his first 4 weeks of duty.
I'm really proud of it, because people from outside tell us that this is by far the best camp that's been set up here. That's something that means a lot to us, and we're really proud because we've heard it from so many people from the outside. This was our job, and I hope we did it well.
And someday they want to do the job they were intended to do, keeping the peace in Kosovo. But the question of ground forces remains open. These soldiers have a right to be proud and somewhat nervous.
Flüchtlingsfamilie. Sichtlich betroffen verfolgten Clinton und Schröder die Schilderungen der Vertriebenen aus der Var. Da war die Rede von Elend, Vertreibung und Gräueltaten der Serben im Kosovo. Babys seien getötet, Frauen vergewaltigt und Häuser niedergebrannt worden, sagte der 25-jährige Sohn. Es sei der Wunsch der Familie, bald wieder in das Kosovo zurückgehen zu können. Anschließend traten die beiden Regierungschefs vor die Presse. Flüchtlinge aus der Unterkunft Ingelheim saßen auf der Zuschauertribüne. Clinton fand Worte des Trostes und der Zuversicht.
Es ist sehr wichtig, dass jeder friedensliebende Mensch in der Welt die Geschichten aus dem Kosovo hört und kennenlernt. Herr Milosevic hat keinen Erfolg gehabt bei der Auslöschung ihrer Identität von den Seiten der Geschichtsbücher. Und er wird keinen Erfolg dabei haben, ihre Gegenwart in den Ländern ihrer Eltern und Großeltern zu verändern. Und sie werden zurückkehren können, in Sicherheit und in Freiheit.
Zuvor hatte Kanzler Schröder versichert, dass sich Deutschland seiner Verantwortung bewusst sei.
Was sich hier zeigt, ist ein Stück gelebter Solidarität zwischen Deutschen und ihnen, die sie aus ihrer Heimat fliehen mussten. Ich bin stolz darauf, dass die Deutschen so hilfsbereit sind, dass sie materiell helfen, aber dass sie auch bereit sind, Menschen, Frauen und Kinder, Männer, die fliehen mussten, bei sich aufzunehmen.
Innenminister Schily will die Bundesländer und die EU-Staaten überzeugen, mehr Flüchtlinge aufzunehmen. Verunsichern die Flüchtlinge, vermitteln, du bist geduldet in diesem fremden Land, abhängig. In den Augen der Menschen Angst. Angst, erneut vor die Tür gesetzt zu werden.
Ohne Vorwarnung schloss gestern die mazedonische Polizei die Grenze zum Kosovo. Diejenigen, die es dorthin geschafft haben, berichten von Prügeleien, Vergewaltigungen und Erschießungen. Immerhin sind sie jetzt vor den serbischen Sondereinheiten sicher. Gestern sahen unsere Leute viele Menschen, Tausende, die nach Mazedonien wollten. Sie wurden aber von den serbischen Grenzposten zurückgetrieben, zurückgeprügelt auf serbisches Gebiet. Die Flüchtlinge in Ingelheim bei Mainz. US-Präsident Clinton besucht zusammen mit Bundeskanzler Schröder ein Flüchtlingsheim. Die Vertriebenen erzählen von ihrer Flucht, von Gräueltaten der Serben, ihren Hoffnungen und Ängsten. Bill Clinton sprach anschließend den Menschen Mut zu und bat sie, lassen Sie ihr Herz nicht in Stein verwandeln.
Ich weiß, dass man nicht rückgängig machen kann, was ihnen angetan wurde. Aber Herr Milosevic wird es nicht schaffen, ihre Identität zu vernichten und aus den Geschichtsbüchern zu tilgen.
Mr. Milosevic has not succeeded in erasing your identity from the pages of history.
Auch Bundeskanzler Schröder bekräftigte das Ziel der NATO, Sicherheit und Freiheit für alle Menschen aus dem Kosovo.
Wenn sich zeigt und wenn man spüren kann und merken kann, dass sie als freie Menschen sicher in ihre Heimat zurückkehren können. Bis dahin sind sie in Deutschland willkommen.
Unterdessen verließ ein weiterer Politiker der Opposition Serbien, Zoran Dinic, der ehemalige Bürgermeister Belgrads. Milosevic ist für alles verantwortlich, was in diesem Land geschehen ist. Nur er hat den Krieg angezettelt, nur er trägt Entscheidungen. Seit 10 Jahren ist Milosevic der einzig Verantwortliche in diesem Land. Am Nachmittag traf der gemäßigte Wortführer der Kosovo-Albaner, Ibrahim Rugova, mit Italiens Ministerpräsidenten Massimo D'Alema zusammen. Mehr als 6 Wochen hatte er unter Hausarrest gestanden. Gestern durfte er schließlich nach Italien ausreisen. In einer ersten öffentlichen Erklärung sprach sich Rugova für die Stationierung einer NATO-Friedenstruppe aus. Alle Flüchtlinge müssten unter sicheren Bedingungen zurückkehren können. Mein Volk und ich können nicht im Exil bleiben. Über seine Behandlung in den vergangenen Wochen äußerte er sich nicht. Es bleiben also viele Fragen offen.
Zum Beispiel auch die Frage.
Por eso en este campo de Tirana nada más llegar empiezan una terapia. Juegos y dibujos para intentar explicar lo que con palabras no pueden describir. Esta es Flora, tiene 13 años y la guerra la dejó sin habla durante semanas. Ahora, después de muchas horas de pintura, donde ha reconstruido sus pesadillas, puede contar lo vivido. Nos dice que en Kosovo les bombardeaban todo el día, que oían explosiones a todas horas y que tenía miedo, miedo a los soldados serbios. Ella ha salido del silencio, pero otros todavía no. Algunos se refugian en la timidez y otros en la agresividad. A todos les cuesta volver a empezar, como a Fiton, tiene 8 años. Cuenta que vio cómo se pegaba a la gente y entre ellos estaba su padre, o Florentina, su hermana, que al intentar hablar llora. Esta profesora de UNICEF dice que están estresados, que han visto lo que ha pasado en su país, sus casas quemadas y a sus padres asesinados, muertos. Ahora se intenta que sus sentimientos salgan a la superficie para evitar traumas futuros, pero no es fácil. Un ejemplo, a la hora de cantar, a pesar de los esfuerzos de la profesora, algunos siguen sin poder articular una sílaba.
All the helping with food, drink and medical help. I think that's good. Lots more people should go there to help.
Help, yes, but not to fight.
Not to fight, I didn't say that.
Well, as I said, they shouldn't be fighting. The deployment will cost the German government an additional 330 million marks, or $183 million, and one more vote is needed. On Friday, the German government is expected to approve the soldiers' participation in the NATO humanitarian mission. Now, those already giving humanitarian aid can use all the help they can get.
A helping hand. On the way to our first stop in the city of Pogradec, we come across a new refugee camp built by Greek soldiers. These white tents, which stretch from the mountains to the sea, will soon be home to around 3,000 Kosovo refugees.
I'd be interested to know how they came to be set up here, because our experience has shown us that because of the security, refugees prefer to be in the city, close to a telephone, where they can reach their relatives in Norway, or Germany or France, where they have streets to show them it's possible to move on. Everything is uncertain. This here looks idyllic.
Splendid isolation house.
The city of Pogradec is an idyllic setting, on the bank of the Ohrid Lake and less than 10 kilometers from the Macedonian border. The city is also packed with thousands of refugees. Several hundred huddle in this abandoned textile factory. 25 people live, eat, and sleep in this shed on less than 30 square meters. Food has just been handed out. It's bread and tomato soup. This family was driven from their homes in April by Serbian forces. At first, they fled to camps in Macedonia. They only recently arrived here. They tell Neudek about their experiences.
These cramped quarters aren't the worst thing for these people. The worst is not knowing what will happen to them. It's torture. If they knew that by the 23rd of September problems would be solved in Kosovo, they wouldn't complain at all about these conditions. Conditions that would be almost unbearable for anyone in Germany.
But no one really knows how long the refugees will have to endure these conditions in tents and abandoned factories. Nordic fears they will all leave shortly before winter comes. Legally or illegally, they will try to reach Germany and other nearby European countries. Nordic's Kap Anamur organization wants to set up a refugee camp here to try to help. Finally, we arrive at the Korcha camp, Nordic's last stop of the day. Many of the refugees here arrived just a few days ago, and some of the tents still stand empty. Nordic has come to talk to the people about their problems and needs. The camp here, set up by the German military, is stable and secure, but there still aren't enough toilet facilities for the thousands of refugees. The International Red Cross and other aid organizations are struggling to provide people with enough food and water. But today, Nordic also finds a reason to smile. Mohammed, who came here from Germany to look for family members lost when he fled Kosovo, has finally found them.
It's time now for our weekly sports.
A Blase sono state fatte passare solo 3 famiglie, una serba e le altre 2 sono passate solo perché una donna era arrivata al 9° mese di gravidanza. Operatori dell'ACNUR affermano di aver visto ieri i poliziotti cacciare 1000 profughi dal territorio macedone. Dall'inizio della guerra in Macedonia si sono riversati oltre 200.000 profughi kosovari con ovvie conseguenze destabilizzanti sia in campo politico che economico. Negli ultimi giorni in Macedonia è nato un partito nazionalista serbo e si sono verificati attentati contro le forze NATO. I rifugiati albanesi rischiano di sovvertire l'equilibrio etnico del paese. I serbi infatti rappresentano il 60% della popolazione di questo stato poverissimo, che tra l'altro aveva anche chiesto di aderire alla NATO, ma che ora potrebbe ripensarci. Alcuni osservatori internazionali affermano che l'intransigenza macedone potrebbe essere letta come una pressione verso il Fondo monetario e i governi NATO che avevano promesso di finanziare la Macedonia con 252 milioni di dollari come ricompensa per lo sforzo economico sostenuto dal paese. E non va dimenticato che a causa della guerra moltissime fabbriche sono state chiuse.
Ora è il momento.
Signor Zani, lei ospita circa 400 kosovari. Per quale ragione?
Prima cosa, il popolo di Valona è molto ospitale. Prima cosa, siamo i nipoti di Madre Teresa.
Non c'è il rischio che alcuni di questi profughi diventino clienti per gli scafisti di Valona?
Dice che io ho firmato su qualche foglia e ci rispondo io per la loro vita.
Ma il traffico tra Valona e le coste italiane continua però?
Non è vero, lavorano da Durazzo, da Fier, da Cavaia, da Valona non parte mai nessuno.
Al campo profughi di Valona è stata denunciata anche la scomparsa, il rapimento di una ragazza che sarebbe stata presa per essere immessa nel racket della prostituzione.
Queste cose che si parlano non sono vere. Dice che la mafia qui non esiste e proprio lui non ha visto nessun mafioso in giro e poi se voi avete visto questi mafiosi ditemi a me, ha detto che li faccio sparire anch'io.
Zani oggi chi è? Un imprenditore? Un personaggio sospetto? Il capo dei traffici che ci sono a Valona o che cos'altro?
E tutte queste cose non mi piacciono, i traffici, le cose. Io voglio lavorare con sudore, dice, e mandare avanti un lavoro.
Un'intera giornata di lezioni e dibattiti sulla guerra con studenti e insegnanti impegnati alla Facoltà di Lettere e Filosofia dell'Università di Verona ad approfondire i temi come il nazionalismo, il rapporto sesso-potere-guerra, il dolore e la sofferenza. Tutto questo insieme a una raccolta di fondi a favore delle popolazioni del Kosovo.
Questa è la prima iniziativa grossa che fanno, però noi abbiamo continuato a discutere con loro in varie forme, cioè la cosa l'hanno sentita moltissimo ma in una forma di grande sconcerto, che condivido anch'io.
Tra gli studenti che hanno affollato le aule, il no alla pulizia etnica messa in atto dal regime di Belgrado, ma anche smarrimento e condanna per i bombardamenti.
La morte non è secondo me il giusto mezzo, come la guerra, per risolvere queste cose, questi conflitti. Forse si poteva intervenire in un altro modo, non uccidendo tutte queste persone, senza devastare la popolazione, che adesso sicuramente bisognerà ricostruire sia psicologicamente che fisicamente.
Sicuramente secondo me una via pacifica ci sarebbe stata, però è facile parlare, star qua seduti a Verona e purtroppo non so, la situazione è complicata.
Un po' ipocrita dire che siamo coinvolti in questa guerra quando alla fine ce l'abbiamo alle porte, però non è che facciamo molto.
Concepire la guerra come estrema ma concreta possibilità di intervenire sui dissidi tra gli uomini e gli stati, per questi giovani è del tutto inaccettabile.
23 dzień trwają naloty NATO na Jugosławię. Ataki skupiły się na zakładach petrochemicznych. Bomby spadły na zakłady paliwowe w Niszu i Prachowie. Zbombardowano też lotniska w Kraljewie i Ponikwie. Sojusz ogłosił, że zniszczono około 20% czołgów i artylerii armii jugosłowiańskiej. W gruzach legła też większość składów.
رئيس الوزراء الإيطالي ووزير خارجيته في روما.
واليوم التقى الرئيس الأمريكي بيل كلينتون برفقة المستشار الألماني جيرهارد شرودر بعدد من لاجئي ألباني كوسوفو الذين تستضيفهم ألمانيا. دار حوار بين اللاجئين والزعيمين الغربيين حول أزمة الإقليم. اللقاء جرى في مخيم أقيم بالقرب من مدينة فرانكفورت قبل انتقال كلينتون إلى العاصمة بون.
أعد عاملو الأمم المتحدة في العاصمة الألبانية تيرانا برامج خاصة للأطفال الألبان النازحين مع عائلاتهم من كوسوفو لتوليد شعور بالحياة العادية لدى اللاجئين الصغار. وتقول مسؤولة في المفوضية العليا لحقوق الإنسان التابعة للأمم المتحدة إن الأطفال يعانون صدمة نفسية وهم بحاجة للتمارس الاعتيادي من خلال اللعب والدراسة حتى يتغلبوا على الصدمة. ورغم الموارد المحدودة ابتكر مسؤولو المفوضية وسائل تعتمد على تعاون الأهالي في رعاية أطفالهم وتلقينهم المهارات الأساسية من قراءة وكتابة.
وأفادت تقارير أن السلطات الحدودية ردت بعض اللاجئين على أعقابهم مانعة إياهم من دخول الأراضي المقدونية، كما منعت الصحفيين من الاقتراب من المكان. المفوضية العليا لشؤون اللاجئين التابعة للأمم المتحدة أعربت عن قلقها العميق لهذا التطور.
لا ندري ما إذا كان هذا الإغلاق مؤقتا أم لا، ونحن في انتظار التأكيد الرسمي لهذا الأمر.